Okay, take three. I guess three times the charm. But yeah, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, which I would have never expected before like the last season, because I thought that the Sam Darnold move would have been very telling. I got telling of what? Um, I thought he was. I got a little carried by Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and that incredible O line. I thought that maybe he could like. I thought Seahawks O line was worse. Jackson Smith and Jigba isn't as good as Justin Jefferson, and Mike McDonald wouldn't be able to actually bring a Brian Flores defense. Every single thing I just said was proven wrong. Jackson Smith and Jigba was just point blank period Justin Jefferson 2.0, because holy fucking shit, he was amazing. Not obviously the play style, but still he was fucking amazing. The old line really held up. Graceful was a great first round pick, and they were just that was a really good fucking thing. It was really good. And Mike McDonald was better than fucking Brian Flores this year. Like, not in general, but like shit. That defense was phenomenal. Like, fucking hell. Every player got a little bit of cake. Like, yeah, this was a very dominant Super Bowl victory. Really dominant playoffs. Just a really, really good season from the Seahawks, which I would have never expected, because I thought they were like a 8-9 or 9-8 team, and they won a lot more than that. Yeah, I think they Super Bowl hangover will probably not happen, because they kept most of their cast, but they obviously lost a few free agents because sometimes people just outplay what they're worth. Yeah, so Clint Kubiak's a Raider, and that leaves a big hole at offensive coordinator, because he was phenomenal. Like, one thing I quoted from someone, I forgot the name of, but like, what Cliff Kingsbury was known to do at either the college level or with the Saints is maximize his players, like to their like maximize one player to their full potential, and he showed that. I don't know if Brian Fleury can do obviously as good of a job as Cliff Kingsbury, because they won a goddamn Super Bowl. So we'll fucking see. But I think this was a decent signing, but he has a lot of expectations, because they just, again, Super Bowl. But yeah, I think they haven't had the very flashy free agency as for like new free agents, but I do think they've had an underrated one, because Noah Igbenogany, he got drafted by the Dolphins, didn't do anything. Well, he did something. He did really bad, but he came to the Commanders. Um, he came. So we went to the Commanders with Dan Quinn, which he's a decent defensive-minded head coach, but he had a good year. Honestly, as a secondary, he was not bad. And now he's a Seahawk with a Mike McDonald head coach. So honestly, shit, he might not be an instant starter, but I honestly like this move. Like, he's at worst good depth, and I think you start him, you'll notice that hey, he's not bad. Like, he's a good replacement for Reek Woolen. Like, hell, he's probably, and I wouldn't say that, but it's still he's not better than Reek Woolen, but he's a good replacement. I like this move a lot. I gotta exhale, inhale. I don't know. I didn't do that in one breath. So yeah, as a Packers fan, Emmanuel Wilson was our RB1, because Josh Jacobs didn't like when Josh Jacobs wasn't like showing up. Emmanuel Wilson did, and he was good last year. As a Packers fan, at least, there definitely is bias there, but I really like Emmanuel Wilson. I hope he does well as a backup running back to Zach Charbonnet. Hell, I'd be really fucking happy if if he became the starter, because he was not going to be the starter in Green Bay. I would be happy as hell if he was in Seattle, but They're basically just bringing a diet Kenneth Walker in because they like to have a 1-2 punch, like their own Sonic and Knuckles with Zach Charbonnet and now Emmanuel Wilson. Now, granted, Emmanuel Wilson's a lot worse than Kenneth Walker, but shit, he ain't bad. I think you'll see, Seattle fans, he ain't bad. Rodney Thomas is also still a decent corner. Not as good as Igbenogany in my opinion, but yeah, considering he got paid 100,000 more, he might start over him, but still, I feel like he's decent. Hello, decent depth at the worst, so can't complain with that. They brought the best receiver of all time in, Jake Bobo, stolen from the Jaguars, and fucking my king. Hello, Seattle is home. Okay, he is the best receiver of all time. I really don't know why, but he is. But yeah, Jake Bobo is amazing. He will prove to all of you. Jackson Smith, who? Jake Bobo, okay? I would have paid him a lot more. He's so worth it. Also, Josh Johnson. Jake Bobo. Okay. This isn't Jake Bobo. I thought they paid Jake Bobo this amount of money. This isn't a good joke, but I should have got a picture of Jake Bobo. I would have been a lot happier. But yeah, the biggest piece of news is Jackson Smith and Jake Bobo. He now has the largest receiver contract in NFL history, which that changes every week. Cornerbacks, not so much. I said that in the Rams video, but yeah, oh shit, spoilers. Yeah, JSN got paid a lot. Again, I mean, yeah, he's worth it. Obviously, he's only been improving. Like, he had a good rookie year, solid sophomore season, and then yeah, the rest is history. He was worth this. Obviously, he was phenomenal. Definitely either the first or second best receiver, but because Puka Nacua kind of became a dick, we're just gonna say he's the best. um, yeah, Charles Cross was also reassigned to a big enough a deal for the big boy. I mean, shit. Again, it's just another. It's just simple as you brought back a really good player. That's really it. Point blank period. He's good. You just kept him. That's I like him. I like this signing, and yeah, you just brought back a really good tackle. You don't want to lose this kind of player. And yeah, this one also kind of surprised me, honestly. I did not think Rashid Shaheed was coming back to Seattle, but hey, for the offense, he's a really good deep threat, and for special teams especially, because again, it is so relevant nowadays that this is a really good signing. The reason why it's so relevant is because their special teams in the Super Bowl was really good, and he was like one of the main contributors. This was a really good signing because he's a good deep threat, very good special teams player. This is a good signing. He's a little older than you would want, but still a really good re-signing. And this was also a very smart move. I thought if they let Josh Joe go, that would have been a loss and a half because then you would have a massive hole at corner that you have to fill with addition to Reek Wallen, but you brought him back, so that's all that matters. You needed someone alongside Devin Witherspoon, so this is good. He had a really good year last year, so yeah, he deserved it. Deserved it. And this was basically an average Super Bowl loss for them. Well, like they won the Super Bowl, so that means they're gonna lose a lot of free agents. And obviously, the main one was Kenneth Walker. I think everybody who knows about the NFL knows this, but yeah, he was Super Bowl MVP. I think he was the main reason why they won the Super Bowl because when the offense wasn't clicking and when fucking Christian Gonzalez gave one of the best. Hold on. Okay, so my microphone fucking died. Okay, let's start from the top, shall we? Kenneth Walker is a good running back. I am not gonna deny that. If like Christian Gonzalez had one of the best Super Bowl perform, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but had a phenomenal performance locking up the best receiver in the league that year. So, well, this year. I think Kenneth Walker is really good, but a little overrated. He had a phenomenal year. He had a really good Super Bowl, but like he's been inconsistent. Like injuries have been plaguing him. When I saw him for like a couple of years, I mean, he had a really good rookie year, but just inconsistent for me personally. I think he still is really good, and I'm really pissed that he's a Chief now. But as for a loss for those Seahawks, it could have been worse. Now, this is still a really big loss because now Zach Charbonnet is your number one running back, which isn't great because, I mean, he's good, but not Kenneth Walker good. Like, he led the backfield, so now it's kind of, there's a little bit of a hole there. So, this is still a really big loss for them, but overall, I feel like you weren't going to pay him this much. Yeah, I should have had this first, like before this, because I personally think this might be one of their biggest loss. This might be their biggest loss because he was really solid for the fucking Seahawks. So he provided very good play in the secondary. So I think that losing him was a loss. Not paying him was probably smart, but I honestly would have. He was worth it, and now he's a Bear. So shit. But yeah, overall, it's a loss, but you can deal with it. It will be hard to replace him, but this one, I think honestly, this is fine because Boye Mafe was not a world record. I think Edge has a little bit of a hole now. Like, you would rather have him than not have him, but for this amount of money, I would have let him go. If this was his asking price, then I would have just let him go. I know the edge rusher market is really expensive, but I mean, 20 million isn't that much, but I wouldn't have paid that much for Boye Mafe considering that his play isn't the greatest in the world. So it's a decent. We are recording. Just making sure, but he is a decent edge rusher, not for $16 million. And yeah, Tariq Woolen's interesting because he signed a prove it deal with the Eagles, so I think that is a good signing because we'll get to that when we get to there. But for the loss, I mean, you still have Josh Jobe, you signed Noah Igbenogany. I think this is fine because he was also inconsistent. He's a good zone corner, but just not good enough to actually pay like 12 million. If he does play good for the Eagles, good for him. This was a fine loss for the Seahawks. They will recover. So yeah, this is a really big question for the Seahawks because again, they won the Super Bowl. So now expectations are to the roof because that's what happens when you win a Super Bowl. I think because they kept most of their cast, mainly Jackson Smith-Njigba, Charles Cross, I think they can still be a dominant team. Cliff Kingsbury was maybe one of their biggest losses. I should have coaches in the losses. What the fuck am I doing? I think Cliff Kingsbury definitely is a loss because having his offensive mind is phenomenal, but they still have a really good team. You still have Mike McDonald, so that means your defense is probably going to be as good as it was before. So, shit, I could see them making another one, like another Super Bowl, but again, this division is brutal besides the Cardinals. But still, you have like 3 Super Bowl caliber teams in your division, which is rough. So I think this is a phenomenal division. So it will be hard to do, especially with the Rams having the offseason that they did. But still, I think the Seahawks retained most of their cast, brought in some decent like depth at the worst. So I think that they can still. I think their ceiling is like still Super Bowl, but my expectations for them are like NFC Championship or title game. Is it the same thing? No, I don't know. But I think they can. They will probably make the playoffs. If they don't, someone got hurt. Someone decided to get drunk. But yeah. Overall, they are still a Super Bowl caliber team. Am I going to put them in the Super Bowl? I think their losses are too drastic to actually consider that. And again, the draft will be telling. Because if they drafted Arian Price at number 32, that'd be interesting. I personally wouldn't do that. I'd get like Mike Washington in the second or third, but yeah, I think that they're still in a good situation, obviously, but I think, yeah, I think, yeah. Outcast.